Assalamu alaikum students. Today the topic of our discussion is humoral control of circulation. It is the continuation of a previous lecture in which we have discussed about the local control of circulation. This is included in the fourth chapter of Guyton, where you can get a heading of local and humoral control of circulation. So now we start this topic. By substances secreted or absorbed into the body fluids, for example hormones plus ions. Some of these formed by special glands, some formed by local tissues. They are mainly divided into vasoconstrictor agents, vasodilator agents. So the important vasoconstrictor agents are norepinephrine and epinephrine, angiotensin 2, vasopressin, endothelin. And important vasodilators are bradykinin, histamine. Okay, so these are the lists of vasoconstrictors and vasodilators. So the control of local blood flow, the control of circulation by substances is called humoral control. So when the blood flow is controlled by substances, either they are vasoconstrictor or vasodilator. This is called humoral control of circulation. So firstly, vasoconstrictors, norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is more powerful vasoconstrictor than epinephrine. Epinephrine is dilator of coronary arteries. During a sympathetic stimulation, for example in stress and anxiety, norepinephrine and epinephrine are released at nerve endings. As you know, these are the neurotransmitters of sympathetic nervous system, and the sympathetic nervous system activates during stress and anxiety. So effect is increased excitability of heart and vasoconstriction of arterioles and veins. Sympathetic nervous system stimulation in turn stimulate adrenal medulla, which secrete epinephrine and norepinephrine. So the sympathetic nervous system directly secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine, as well as it also acts on medulla of adrenal gland to secrete epinephrine and norepinephrine. So there are two pathways for the release of these neurotransmitters. These hormones circulate in all parts of the body and have the same effect on blood vessels as that of direct stimulation of sympathetic nervous system. So the direct effect of sympathetic nervous system stimulation is increased excitability of heart and vasoconstriction of arterioles and veins. So either there is direct effect of your sympathetic nervous system, or either through these neurotransmitters, through these substances which are vasoconstrictor. Angiotensin 2 is also a powerful vasoconstrictor, and the main effect is on arterioles of the body. Total peripheral resistance increase and BP increase, because when there is vasoconstriction, the total peripheral resistance also increases. The lumen of the vessel become narrow and the pressure is increased. Vasopressin is the third vasoconstrictor agent. It is also called ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Most powerful vasoconstrictor than angiotensin 2. This can also be the MCQ point. The most powerful vasoconstrictor is vasopressin, and the name indicates that vaso means vessels, pressin means press the vessels, constrict the vessels. formed in nerve cell bodies in hypothalamus of brain, transported to posterior pituitary gland, stored and secreted into the blood when needed. So this is the pathway: secreted from hypothalamus, then transport to posterior pituitary, and then to where it is stored, and then on a requirement, on demand, entered into the circulation. In hypovolemic shock, vasopressin secreted. Vasopressin has a major function of absorbing water from renal tubules back to circulation to control blood water. Volume of urine is decreased, hence vasopressin is called antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so in hypovolemic shock, now vasopressin is secreted, and it retains fluid in the body by absorbing water from renal tubules, and thus it decreases the production of urine and retaining water in the body. So antidiuretic. Diuresis means loss of fluid through the kidneys is diuresis, and antidiuresis is opposite to the loss of water through kidneys. So it is antidiuretic hormone. It retains water and it increases the blood pressure when there is a hypovolemic shock. And other is endothelin. This is also MCQ point, a powerful vasoconstrictor in damaged blood vessels. So this is the main MCQ point. Endothelin is amino acid. It has a 12 amino acids. It's a peptide. Endothelin present in endothelial cells of all blood vessels, and released when there is a damage or crushing injury to blood vessel. So this is also a very important MCQ point. Be remember, what is the powerful vasoconstrictor? The answer is endothelin. Vasodilator agents, one is bradykinin, small polypeptides kinin, which in the presence of kallikrein produce kallidin, and this kallidin produce bradykinin. Kallikrein is a proteolytic enzyme, and alpha-2 globulin or in plasma or tissue fluid forms kinin. When acted upon by proteolytic enzymes. And you can see here alpha-2 globulin produce kinin, and this kinin produce kallidin, and kallidin produce bradykinin. So this is the series of reactions which ultimately produce bradykinin. Bradykinin causes arteriolar dilation, increased capillary permeability. It is believed bradykinin help regulate blood flow in skin, salivary glands, and gastrointestinal tract. And the second one, vasodilator, is histamine, released in every tissue of body when tissue is damaged or inflamed or during allergic reactions. Very important, during allergic reactions histamine is produced. Mast cells in tissues, basophils in blood produce histamine. The source of histamine are mast cells in tissue and basophils in blood. And arteriolar vasodilation causes arteriolar vasodilation, increased capillary permeability, leakage of fluid and proteins in tissue, and ultimately causes edema. So histamine can cause, excess histamine can cause edema in allergic reactions and in inflammation. And vascular control by ions and other chemical factors. Increase calcium ion concentration causes vasoconstriction. increase potassium ion vasodilation, because increase calcium ion concentration. Why causes vasoconstriction? Because it increases the contraction of smooth muscles in the blood vessels, while potassium inhibits contraction of smooth muscles, and likewise increased magnesium also inhibits smooth muscle contraction. Increase H plus ions. When the pH is decreased, acidic environment, vasodilation of arterioles, anions, acetate, citrate, mild vasodilation, increase in carbon dioxide concentration, moderate vasodilation in most tissues, but marked vasodilation in brain. Indirect effect of carbon dioxide in vasomotor center, sympathetic stimulation, and vasoconstriction. So this is the indirect effect of carbon dioxide on vasomotor center, which results in vasoconstriction, but at a local level, the carbon dioxide increase causes vasodilation. As you know, the decrease in oxygen causes vasodilation. So the increase in carbon dioxide causes vasodilation, because when the oxygen is decreased, carbon dioxide is increased. So this is the story at local level, but in the case of brain, in case of vasomotor center, carbon dioxide has indirect effect and increases the sympathetic stimulation and vasoconstriction. So it is the vice versa effect. So this is the lecture on humoral control of circulation. Humoral means substances, by substances. So the control of circulation by substances.